Good morning. This is a video tutorial covering how to manage citations and works cited pages within PowerNotes. We've recently received a handful of questions on the topic, so I wanted to walk through the different ways to save citations, to annotate at the source level, and to export that information either into a works cited, a bibliography, or you can even export your source notes or how you've annotated at the source level into a spreadsheet. So let's jump in. I'm starting here on a PowerNotes project outline. This is a page that you're likely familiar with, where in this example, we have a project on honeybees. I have a few sources pulled up to show you how we can save sources from each and then export those saved sources into a works cited page. I'm also going to show you how, as a teacher, you can pre-assign questions that you may want your students to answer about each source as they are using them. And you can keep that information separate from your standard research outline. Or, of course, if you found a way to do that within the structure here, that's completely acceptable as well. The interface is very flexible. So let's jump in and start saving some sources. Before I get started, please do not give me a grade on this. I am walking through the product, pointing out functionality, and I will not be doing the closest of reading or being intentional with my work. So I've pulled up this news article here from NPR just to show a few different sources and how citations may look a little bit differently for students as they use PowerNotes. So I have my extension added. I have this sidebar expanded so I can see my outline. You can also work with it minimized. And we actually grab the citation and save the source right when you highlight text. So let's go ahead and save this. Let's organize that into one of our topics. We can take some fake notes. And now let's come over here into the sidebar to show what's being saved. Of course, we have our quote and our annotation. PowerNotes will automatically grab a link back to the source, so students can never forget where something came from. And here, right next to the URL, this is one of the places where you can view and confirm citations. If you have not confirmed a citation for the source, the quotation icon will be hollowed out. You can click this button here or in the annotation pop-up here. When you click on that button, the sidebar view will change to show source information. Starting at the top, you have citation information, then you have a URL, you have a citation format. Teachers can preset this if you're using our instructional tools, or students can come in and they can change the format themselves. Below, you have the pre-formatted citation that has been generated within our system. Of course, these are not always accurate. We even have this disclaimer down here saying, please be sure to check this before you save it. You can edit the citation directly here, or you can view expanded fields below and change the title, add or edit contributors, and also edit other fields as well. Once you make those edits, you can click refresh. Let's go ahead and assume this is accurate, and we'll click save for this example. Now, as I go back into my outline, you'll notice that the citation icon is still or has been shaded to dark gray. And now the tooltip says view citation, while previously it said confirm. So we have a visual indicator and just a little tip saying that you have confirmed the citation, it's there. Now, if a student goes throughout an entire project and maybe they save multiple sources and they forget to save them, they can do one of two things. They can always just click right back on that link that will live in their outline. So maybe they're looking and they realize, I don't have a citation here. If you're viewing this card within the outline, you'll notice if you save a citation, it will be there. But if you forget to do that, you can always click on the link, go right back into that source, and follow that process and click save. There's also a way when you're exporting your sources into a bibliography where you can approve all unapproved citations. Now, we don't recommend that because that can lead to errors where students are not even thinking about checking and confirming citations beforehand. We do not encourage them to skip that step in the learning process, but that button is there. When they go to export their bibliography, maybe they realize they forgot to do one or two, and they can just approve all unapproved citations, which basically means it exports the citations that we've grabbed originally, even if they're inaccurate, or if they're not even there in the first place. So along with being able to save a source, teachers can assign questions for students to answer for each source that they're finding. You will find those questions here as well. At the very top, you'll see that it says citation information, but you can also toggle over to source notes. In this example, the teachers asked two very basic questions. At the very top, you'll see the title of the article that you are in, just to make sure that you're answering the questions on the correct source. And then you have the two questions. Where did you find this source? Where the student can come in. They might just say Google. And when was this article published? Okay, looks like 2023. This feature was initially built based on recommendations from some partner schools in higher education, actually, where professors were assigning information literacy rubrics. However, we've seen it used in creative ways. It's completely optional. It's just another way for students to think about their sources in more ways than just saving a citation. You can ask any number of questions here. You can assign a rubric. It's very flexible. So let's go ahead and just do that. So now let's jump into another source. This is a PDF that I found on Google Scholar, just to show you how PowerNotes works on different types of sources. So let's highlight something here. Let's save that into a topic. Or maybe I'll say find more on this. And now we can start the same process. It's also worth noting that students can make multiple highlights on one page before they go in and confirm the citation. It can work retroactively as well. So let's go in and click Confirm Citation. In this case, it looks very similar, but there is a little bit of a difference here. In this case, we're not using our citation generator. We are pulling the citation from the DOI. So if the PDF, it's typically a PDF or perhaps an ebook, provides an indicator telling us what the citation is for this source, we will pull that directly. In that case, it's much more likely to be accurate. You can still change the format. You can still edit if something is wrong, and then you can click Save. So you can see here, the citation is now, or the quotation icon is now shaded to dark gray. We can go back. Now let's click on Source Notes. Once again, this is not required. I just want to point this out as an additional feature that you may find interesting in relation to saving and tracking sources. So I found this on Google Scholar. Once the answer to these questions are not too exciting, but I think the functionality could open up some ideas on how to potentially use this. When was this article published? I can't find this, so for the sake of time, let's make up a date. We'll call this 2004. All right, now, last but not least, let's jump into another source. Here I'm in EBSCO, so a library database that potentially your students might be accessing through your school's library center. So I'm reading, and maybe we save this. And let's pop this into another topic. We're not going to take notes here. And maybe this time, let's click on it from here. So now I'm in the annotation pop-up. I'm going to confirm my citation. Okay, looks good. I'm going to jump right in and actually add my source notes. I found this in the school library. I'll say library search because it's a digital source. It's not a paper book. And when was this published? Okay, looks like 2024. Interesting. Now we click Save. Now we have that. All right, so of course you can add your own notes and many other quotes and things to your PowerNotes outline, but for the sake of showing how to export it into the various formats, let's go right back into our outline. So now we're here, and now we want to send out just our citations. On the right-hand side, you click Export, Word. Right underneath Outline, you'll see Bibliography. Now, though we can format the citation based on a few different styles and formats, we cannot yet export the bibliography to conform to that style. So this is a generic format that will look something like this. Let's click Bibliography. You can also include or exclude citations from different topics. Here, it's showing that we only have sources in these two topics, so that's what we'll be exporting. By default, it'll select everything. And then over here, I mentioned you can send out the unapproved citations. We have a little tooltip here telling you what happens. Let's go ahead and send out this. All right, so now I'm looking at this here, and it looks like it did not work. Let me go back quickly. Try that again. There we go. So for some reason, I had the wrong topics clicked, but here you can see all of our citations. Scared me for a moment. All right, so at the very top, we have a disclaimer saying this is a generic bibliography, and you need to check the citations and formatting. But we have the title of the project here. We have the description of the project right below that. So that came from the outline. And then we have, in alphabetical order, our citations. So once again, the students may need to edit this, but this is how you send out all of your saved citations. Of course, if you use Google, you would need to save this to Google Drive and open it up in a Google Doc. If you're unsure how to do that, please let us know. Whoops. All right, so let's go back here. I'm going to point that out again so you don't face the same error that I potentially did. So when you click bibliography, you want to make sure that the topics where you have saved sources that you want to have the citation exported, make sure those are selected. You can even just select it all with this little toggle, and then you click Export. Now I want to quickly show you the source notes. So below Word, where you found the outline, you have an Excel or spreadsheets options. And the second from the bottom is titled Source Notes. So let's send that out. So this will send all of your notes that you took on the source based on those questions to a spreadsheet. Down the first column, you'll see the source. These are hot linked, so you can click on these if you're the teacher. As the teacher, if you have access to the project, you can also export this to even have students skip that step. The only thing they would need to do is answer the questions. And then here in each column, you have the questions and their responses. So you can see, okay, where'd you find the source? As you can imagine, there are a lot of creative ways to use this. You can ask maybe some better questions than I did here in this example, just to get an idea. Like, okay, so Kyle, your project, you concluded this from your research. How does your conclusion relate to the dates of the articles that you found? What was the average date? Are you finding things from the 90s, or are you finding recent articles? And then, of course, you can do things like if the conclusion is different because you found all your sources on Google versus you found everything in the school library. This could be used as a learning opportunity for students of all grade levels if they're using PowerNotes. And there's a lot of flexibility and creative ways that our teachers are using it. Once again, not necessarily a citation tool, but a way to evaluate your sources. Okay, so I hope that answered your questions. If not, please let us know. We are working on a few enhancements to our citation tools, but this is how it works as of today, which is March 7th, 2024. Thank you so much for your time. Have a great day.